In the middle of the Nevada desert sat the most secure prison in America, Black Ridge Penitentiary. It was surrounded by razor wire, guard towers, attack dogs, and miles of empty desert. Nobody had ever escaped. Until Vanessa Kane. Vanessa was 35, calm, smart, and impossible to read. She had short black hair, cold gray eyes, and a habit of watching everything without saying much. The guards thought she was harmless because she spent most of her time in the prison library reading old engineering books. But Vanessa wasn't reading for fun. For 3 years, she secretly studied the prison blueprints hidden in maintenance manuals. She memorized guard schedules, learned which cameras had blind spots, and figured out the exact time the power flickered every night when the prison switched to backup generators for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. That was all she needed. Vanessa made friends with an older janitor inmate named Rico, who worked in the boiler room. In exchange for helping him write letters to his family, Rico smuggled her tiny pieces of wire, old screws, and scraps of metal. Over months, Vanessa built a small magnetic device hidden inside a hollowed-out law book. Then came the storm. One night, a massive thunderstorm rolled across the desert. Rain pounded the prison roof. Lightning cracked across the sky. Guards were distracted, alarms were glitching, and the prison went into temporary lockdown. Vanessa sat in her cell, waiting. 11:58 p.m., 11:59 p.m. Midnight. The power flickered. For 2 seconds, every electronic door in her cell block unlocked before switching back to emergency mode. Vanessa moved instantly. She slipped out of her cell, ran through the dark hallway, and used the magnetic device to jam a security door so it couldn't fully lock behind her. She crawled through a maintenance tunnel under the laundry room, squeezing through pipes and thick steam, until she reached the old boiler room. But that was only the beginning. Hidden behind the boiler room wall was a narrow shaft no bigger than a coffin. Vanessa had spent months loosening the concrete around it using a spoon and stolen cleaning chemicals. She crawled inside, dragging herself through the darkness for nearly an hour. Then she reached a dead end. At least, that's what anyone else would have thought. Vanessa pulled a rusted metal grate off the wall and revealed an abandoned water pipe leading outside the prison fence. The pipe had been sealed off for 20 years after a flood. No one knew it still existed. She crawled through mud, rats, and freezing water until finally she saw moonlight. Vanessa emerged nearly half a mile outside the prison walls, soaked and covered in dirt. But she still wasn't free. Prison sirens suddenly exploded behind her. A guard had found her empty cell. Searchlights swept across the desert. Helicopters rose into the air. Dogs barked in the distance. Vanessa ran straight into the desert storm. For 2 days, police searched the desert with helicopters, drones, and roadblocks. They found footprints, scraps of torn prison clothing, and even blood from cuts on her hands. But they never found Vanessa. 3 weeks later, security cameras in Los Angeles caught a woman with blonde hair boarding a cargo ship headed to Mexico. The footage was blurry. But when investigators zoomed in, they noticed something chilling. The woman turned toward the camera for 1 second and smiled. It was Vanessa Kane.